Imagine a city waking up in the morning. The sun is not even high yet, but the road already feels like a hot pan. A delivery rider accepts the first order of the day. A construction worker looks up at an unfinished building. Students walk into a classroom with no air conditioning. Tourists line up outside a famous landmark. Everything still looks normal until the air gets a little hotter, then hotter, and suddenly, the world that used to work in daylight starts becoming a world where daylight itself is dangerous. So here's the question. What if Earth gets too hot for humans to work outside? For a long time, many of us treated heat like discomfort. You sweat, you feel tired, you want cold water. But extreme heat is not just uncomfortable. It is one of the quietest disasters on Earth. It does not arrive like a storm tearing roofs away. It does not roar like thunder. It does not always create dramatic images like a flood. Heat is slower, quieter, and in some ways more dangerous because our brains often underestimate it. What heat really does is force your body to fight the air around it. The human body works best when its internal temperature stays close to 37 degrees Celsius. That number has to be protected constantly. When you get too hot, your body opens its cooling system. Blood moves closer to the skin. Your heart beats faster. You sweat, and that sweat has to evaporate to carry heat away. It sounds simple, but this system has limits. If the air is too hot, your body cannot dump heat fast enough. If the air is too humid, sweat does not evaporate well. If you are carrying heavy loads, walking in direct sun, wearing thick clothing, or working for hours, your own muscles produce even more heat. And if you have no water, no shade, no rest, no air conditioning, or no real permission to stop, heat is no longer just weather. It becomes biological pressure. Your heart works harder. Your brain slows down. Your decisions get worse. Your hands may shake. Your muscles may cramp. And if your core temperature rises too far, the systems inside your body can begin to fail. That is why heat stroke is not just fainting. It is a medical emergency. And the scary part is that it can happen on a day that looks like nothing more than a very hot day. Around the world, governments are beginning to understand that heat has to be treated as a real hazard. Europe has faced repeated heat waves and wildfires. Schools have closed during dangerous heat. Tourist sites have limited access. Sports events have had to adjust crowd access and safety plans. And in parts of Italy, outdoor work has been restricted during the hottest hours of the day. Because when workers are forced to do heavy labor from noon into the afternoon on streets and building sites that have stored heat all day, ordinary work can become life-threatening. In the United States, OSHA has also been moving through rulemaking for heat injury and illness prevention in workplaces. The basic idea is not complicated. Workplaces need a plan for heat. They need to evaluate risk. They need water. They need shade. They need rest breaks. They need training so people can recognize danger early. And they need to protect new or returning workers who have not yet adapted to hot conditions, because the body needs time to acclimatize. This is where the future gets interesting. Work time may stop being only about the clock. It may become about temperature. For most of human history, daylight meant work, night meant rest. But if the middle of the day becomes too hot, that pattern may have to change. Some cities may start work before sunrise, stop during the afternoon, and return in the evening. Delivery routes may shift. Construction schedules may follow heat alerts. Schools may check humidity and heat stress before allowing outdoor activities. Sports may move away from the hottest hours. Tourist cities may have to admit that some summer afternoons are simply not safe for long lines in direct sun. But this is not only about outdoor workers. Heat changes entire cities. Many modern cities are accidental ovens: concrete roads, tall buildings, metal roofs, cars, air conditioners pushing hot air outside, too little shade, too few trees. During the day, the city absorbs heat. At night, it releases that heat slowly. That means some nights never cool down enough for the human body to recover, and that matters. Your body does not only need to survive the afternoon, it needs the night to reset. If the night stays hot, the heart keeps working. Older people, young children, people with illness, people living alone, and people who cannot afford cooling become much more vulnerable. This is why heat is not an equal disaster. It does not hit everyone the same way. If you have a cool home, money for electricity, and a job indoors, heat may feel manageable. But if you sell food on the street, deliver orders, build roads, collect garbage, work on farms, or live in a small room that never cools down, heat is not just weather. It is a limit placed on your life. The real question is not only how high the temperature is, it is who has to stand there, for how long, with how much water, with how much shade, with how much power to say, I need to stop. Extreme heat also changes the economy. When people can work fewer safe hours, work slows down. When offices, factories, and homes need more air conditioning, electricity demand rises. When everyone turns on cooling at the same time, the grid comes under stress. And if the power fails during extreme heat, the problem is no longer inconvenience. It can become a public health crisis. There is also a strange loop here. We escape heat with machines, but those machines need energy. And if that energy system is not clean enough, it can push the planet toward even more heat. So heat is not one problem. It connects to power, water, food, cities, labor, health, and inequality. But the story is not hopeless. Humans have redesigned cities before. We changed streets because of disease. We changed buildings because of fires. We changed safety rules because of accidents. Now we may have to change cities because of heat. Trees are not just decoration. They are infrastructure. Shade is not just comfort. It is health protection. Cool roofs, reflective surfaces, shaded sidewalks, public cooling spaces, water stations, heat alert systems, and worker heat plans may become as normal as fire exits. Schools may need heat rules. Workplaces may need heat plans. Cities may need systems to check on elderly people living alone. And all of us may need to learn a new language of heat. Not just how many degrees is it, but how humid is it? How strong is the sun? Did the night cool down? Who is exposed? Who cannot leave? Who needs someone to check on them? If Earth becomes too hot for humans to work outside during the day, it does not mean humanity loses immediately. But it does mean the world we are used to may need to be redesigned. New work hours, new city design, new labor rules, new ways to protect vulnerable people, and a new understanding that heat is not just the background of life. On some days, it is an invisible disaster. It does not shout. It does not break down the door. It simply makes your body fight silently until the body cannot fight anymore.
So the next time you see a heat wave headline, do not only think that place is hot. Ask a better question. Who still has to work outside? Who is sleeping in a room that never cools down? Who has no water, no shade, and no right to stop? And how ready is our city for a future where daylight may no longer be the safest time to be outside?